College student murdered by maniac after her multiple 911 calls were ignored. Good morning, everyone. I'm Eric. It is December 27th, 2018. I'm here at the Free Thought Project, rather. This comes from Matt Argist. And this is just another fine example of how law enforcement has no duty to protect you. This happened in Salt Lake City, Utah. You know, the home of the pedophile Mormon Church. Yep, the Mormon Church. They are also pedophiles, a lot of them. I know this firsthand. But an aspiring young college student in Salt Lake City is dead after a system that was supposedly protecting her chose to ignore her calls for help instead. Lauren McCluskey was murdered by a deranged stalker despite multiple calls to 911. McCluskey, 21, met 37-year-old Melvin Rowland in a campus bar in September of this year and dated him for about a month. McCluskey called off the relationship after finding out that Rowland had lied to her about his age and learning that he had a criminal past. Rowland was a convicted sex offender who would go on to clearly violate his terms of release by stalking and even extorting McCluskey, but police chose not to act. Instead, they continuously passed the buck. Again, Ms. McCluskey chose to call 911 to reach the Salt Lake City Police Department on October 19th after she had been dealing with the University of Utah campus police unsuccessfully for days. I'm worried because I've been working with the campus police at the U, and last Saturday I reported and haven't gotten an update, she told Salt Lake City Police Dispatch. They haven't updated or done anything, she added, according to 911 transcripts. The SLC police would act in a similar manner to the campus police, and they too did nothing. Instead, they referred her back to the campus police, claiming that this situation was under their jurisdiction. After ending their relationship on October 9th, McCluskey tried for nearly 2 weeks to get the police to help her. She informed both the campus police and the SLC police on multiple occasions that she was being harassed by a convicted sex offender as well as being extorted. She told police that Rowland forced her to pay him $1,000 or he would release compromising photos of her. This activity was ignored. Let me stop right there. You should never, ever let anyone take any kind of photo of you that can be used against you later on. Just, a little common sense here. I've contacted them already. I just wanted to talk to you as well. McCluskey said, yeah, I was just concerned because I wasn't sure how long they were going to take. Sadly, they would never act. And on October 22nd, McCluskey was murdered by Rowland. Her multiple 911 calls to police fell on deaf ears, and her entirely preventable murder allowed to happen thanks to incredible police incompetence. Now, I'm going to stop there too because it's not incompetence. They willfully ignored this girl's plea for help. And you morons out there, the same kind of morons that write comments like this about me in my comment section, you morons will continue to call 911 in spite of the fact that they have no duty to protect you. But, you know, I'm the moron, I'm the meth head, I need Prozac, and so on and so forth. Yup. Apparently there's an independent review of her case, has her parents in disagreement, and exposes the severe flaws in the system. If the severe flaw is the system itself. Now, if there were no law enforcement to call, this girl's parents could hunt down the motherfucker and kill him. That is true justice. What's going to happen to him isn't true justice. He's going to get a plea deal. They all do, for the most part. He's going to get a plea deal. He'll be out in 20 years, maybe less, and he'll do the same thing to some other person's daughter. You know, I'm not completely against locking people up. I'm against what they're being locked up for, and clearly this is something a person should spend the rest of their life in prison for. Not the killing of this girl, but his sexual predation. That's what he should have been locked up for. Had he been, this girl would still be alive. And she's a perfectly good-looking girl. She's not an ugly woman at all. Or wasn't, I should say. And this is one of many instances of this. How many times do police departments have to be sued just to have the Supreme Court say no? Police have no duty to protect the individual. Their duty is to the state. Their duty is to the whims of the politicians, not you. Again, I'm the one that's in need of Prozac. So, I'm going to go ahead and continue this video since it's only 7 minutes or closer to 8 minutes long here. Government shutdown or not, the police state will continue to flourish. Shutdown or not, war will continue. Drone killings will continue. Surveillance will continue. Censorship and persecution of anyone who criticizes the government will continue. The government's efforts to label dissents as extremists and terrorists will continue. Putin oversees final hypersonic missile test before 2019 deployment. The Russian defense minister, on special orders from from President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday, conducted a successful final test launch of a new hypersonic glide missile system ahead of its official deployment in 2019. And these were not supposed to be deployed for another few years. Apparently, they have moved that deadline up. According to reports from Russia or Russian state media, the new weapon called Avangard uses an intercontinental ballistic missile and a hypersonic glide vehicle to carry and can travel 20 times the speed of sound. 20 times the speed of sound. 2018, the year public watch list became commonplace. Again, but I'm the one that needs Prozac. A few months ago, I called 2018 the rise of spy-in-transit police. But after looking through my archives, I noticed a more disturbing pattern emerge. Time and time again, month after month, most of the stories I wrote revolved around one thing: watch lists. In January, I wrote 2 stories about facial recognition and police camera shares that centered around corporate and law enforcement watch lists. From then on, things got progressively worse. Watch lists, blacklist, and whitelist are expanding at a frightening pace. But, you know, sending your children to the United States is a good idea. Now, here's what's going to happen with Syria. I can see it now. United States, Donald Trump says, I'm pulling my troops out. We're getting the fuck out of there. And it opens the door for Israel to launch massive attacks on Syria. And then when Israel gets into trouble, because they get surrounded by all these Arab countries, and probably rightfully so, well, that's when Donald Trump will double the troops and send them back. That didn't take long. On Christmas Day, Israel launched what Bloomberg described as its first airstrike in Syria since President Trump's shocking announcement that he would withdraw all troops from Syrian territory. To the disgust of U.S. national security officials and every neocon anywhere, the strike targeted an ammunition depot in the Damascus countryside believed to belong to either Iran's Revolutionary Guard or its Lebanon-based proxy, Hezbollah. And these are all just excuses to continue to balkanize the land there in Syria. As you know, Israel has already stolen Golan Heights from Syria, and they have no intention on giving it back. Their only intention is to kill as many people in that country as possible and to steal as much land as possible. That is the Israeli Jew way. Former FBI Director James Comey testifies there is no deep state. So, but again, I'm the one that should be on Prozac because I point out all the evil shit that our government and governments around the world do every day. And, but, you know, I'm the moron. I'm the one that should stay off the meth. I'm the one that shouldn't care about other people's children, apparently. I guess I shouldn't care at all about this world we live in. Maybe that would make these fucking political sycophants happy. I don't know. All I do know is I'm not going to stop talking about this stuff because a bunch of right-wing lunatics don't like what I say. Now, back when I first started my channel, I talked about I condemned abortion, right? And this guy got on, he'd been a long-time subscriber too, and he got on, he demanded that I kind of refute what I've already said, but I told him that I stand by what I said, every fucking word. And I do. Till next time, kill the state before the state kills you.